it is now my turn and my pleasure to share some thoughts with you about this momentous day. And it is a momentous day. It is the beginning of the rest of your lives, as is always the case on any day. But until now, I recognize, but until now, you all have been lay people. And today, you begin on your journey to become lawyers, to join the learned profession of the law. And that requires big words like momentous and transformational. And you do so, as everybody has been talking about already, in a momentous time. The words unprecedented, unparalleled. There are so many words that people have been using over the last year and a half. We are clearly not done navigating the challenges that this pandemic has presented. We are still wearing masks, but we are rising to them. We are still talking about the national reckoning on race and racism that we have been talking about for the last few years. We are also still in a highly polarized political and cultural environment. This is an important time, and it's an important time to go to law school. I hope you feel that you are in the right place to think about these and many other challenges and rise to them. I am confident, as Dean Blazer is confident, that you are. Going to law school, in my view, is always a good choice, but it will come as no surprise that going to law school now, and I may be biased, is the best and most important thing that you can do, whatever your interests, whatever your relationships to these various unprecedented challenges. You will learn new ways to rise to these challenges and to all challenges, to unpack problems, to analyze them, to ask how principles and values and theories relate to the real world. It will not be easy. Law school never is. Starting law school at this moment is no doubt extra daunting, but it will also be, I hope, exhilarating, energizing, empowering, and ultimately very, very rewarding. And that is not just a hope, but it's a prediction based on the 20 years that I have spent studying lawyers, teaching lawyers, and leading an institution that educates them. When you come to law school over the next several months, you will spend a lot of time reading judicial opinions written by judges. And it is easy to think that the judges are the key to the legal system, but they are not. The key to the legal system are the lawyers. I don't want to say, the judges are important, don't get me wrong, they're important. But behind every case are the lawyers. Cases exist because real people experience harms in their lives that they think the law should address and that they think lawyers can help them with. And so lawyers wield an immense power in response to that. And I'm not just talking about famous lawyers or extraordinary lawyers. All lawyers wield this power. This is the power to make the law, to affect real institutions, people, companies, and nations. It's the power to make, break, and enforce contracts, to put people in prison and to help get them out again, to wage war and end it, to create or merge companies or allow them to go bankrupt. All of this is to say the law is not some constant external foreign thing that exists in a vacuum out there. The law is made, not found, and it will eventually, routinely, and momentously be made by you. So my job, our job, everyone here at the law school's job, is to ensure that you understand your power and that you are equipped to deploy it with integrity and responsibility. So how will that happen? It will happen in large part through your classes and in your co-curricular experiences. There are 3 types of courses that you are about to encounter. The first are the ones where you learn to think like a lawyer, analyze problems, understand and manipulate categories, reason with clarity, persuade, not disagree. People think lawyers are argumentative. We're persuasive, right? This is the fundamental building block of law school. There are 2 other parts of our curriculum. The second are experiential classes, learning that teaches you skills, the actual work of lawyers, and the service that you all owe to the profession, which I'll talk about more in a minute. These are experiences that will help you learn integrity and judgment. These are clinics, externships, pro bono work, negotiations courses, summer jobs, alternative spring break. These are the experiences that will give you insight into your own interests and ideal practice areas. There's often a huge interest between what it means to read about a topic and what it means to practice it. The third part of your education will consist of courses in a wide array of scholarly perspectives that foster the big picture thinking that is critical to leadership. These classes will put into perspective the real world, the interpersonal, and the one-on-one, as well as the global. They'll provide context in history, jurisprudence, economics, psychology, politics, philosophy, religion, sociology. Our faculty are experts in all of these fields as well as law, and they will offer you the big picture and the long view. They will enable you to ask and answer the big questions about justice, the rule of law, and the operation of the law. You will each have a different mix of these classes. You will dip in different ways to these three types of classes, but you will do all three. Now, of course, the first semester, the legendary first semester, is all fundamentals. We start law school this way because the faculty think it is necessary and important to learn the analytical process, that clear thinking like a lawyer process. First, you have to do that before you can then go back and add in the experiential learning and the broader perspectives. That can be hard. It can sometimes feel unnatural and like you are cordoning off some of the hard and important questions in these first weeks of law school, including many of the questions that brought you here in the first place. So if you find yourself wondering, this thinking like a lawyer thing, is it really for me if it's not answering the main questions that are on my mind? Ask your professors, why do you teach this way? Why aren't you asking the questions that I think are important? What's going on there? Also, take opportunities, as Dean Blazer was saying, to talk with your classmates about it, to discuss these issues outside the classroom, and identify which are the ones you want to explore later when you get the opportunity, which are the big picture ways you want to be thinking about the law. And keep in mind that you'll soon be able to choose from a wide array of interdisciplinary perspectives that will return you to the passions that you brought here in the first place. And finally, and perhaps most importantly, find ways outside the classroom to remind you of why you came here in the first place. Join the student organizations that Nico was talking about. Get involved in the Charlottesville community. Do a pro bono project, which you can start doing right away. Find ways to feed that passion, even as in your law school classrooms, you are learning the method to think like a lawyer. So becoming the lawyer that you came here to become is partly about the substance and method of what happens in the classroom, but part of it is about how you approach your classes. So beginning now, but especially beyond the first semester, you will learn to think not only about how to manipulate set legal categories, but also to take ownership over what the law most fundamentally is. You will learn to think not only about what can be done, but what should be done. Not only to practice the law, but to lead it. And this requires you to see your education from the very start, from right now, not as passive recipients of information or consumers of information, but as partners with the intent to achieve mastery. You need to own your own adventures. All right, everybody, raise your hand. Raise your hand, everybody raise your hand. Okay, now say UVA Law 2024. UVA Law 2024. Okay, you can put your hands down. You have now done the two hardest things there are to do in law school: raising your hand and speaking in front of other people. You're done. And none of your classes are anywhere near this big. So you've done it, and now you do not have to be nervous that there's going to be some first time you speak in class. You all did it. You're done. You're up to the second time already. My students will tell you that I am always on what I think of as a relentless quest for full participation. I want every student to be talking in every class session that I teach. And as dean, I am on a relentless quest for all of you to participate. Participation and ownership of your education is a gift that you give to yourself. It's a gift that you give to others in an educational process that is so much about dialogue. I'll talk about that more in a minute. It is participation and ownership that lead to mastery and that enable you to become the people who truly make the law. Such mastery brings with it two important things. First, it brings opportunity. As Nico said, you can do literally anything as a UVA lawyer. Dream big and make it happen. Life is long, careers are long, they are not linear, no two are the same. You will meet the amazing Grace Fu in a moment, and learn about her own inspiring career. Law school is your chance to prepare for the whole long, wide-ranging career that you will follow once you leave here. And it will be amazing, and it will be wondrous. And I know that even if you do not, because I know who has come before you and who has sat in this chair before, like the three people up on the stage. Our graduates clerk for judges, they practice in nonprofits and in law firms. They are CEOs of hedge funds, they are the heads of legal aids, they are US attorneys and judges and congresspeople and senators and presidents. You can even become the New York Times puzzle master, like Will Shortz, who gave our graduation speech a year ago, and yes, he is a UVA law graduate, or a judge like Cleo Powell, who spoke at our graduation just a few months ago. Now, I know that some of you came with ideas about where you're going to head after law school, and you might head there. Many of you came with ideas, and they will not be where you go. I certainly did not imagine myself standing here. And some of you have no idea what you're going to use this degree for, and that's okay too. There is no right way to do law school. All of you are on a journey of self-discovery, and so you should make it your business to know that you will have power, and you will have to be thinking about how you want to exercise that power. The cognate to opportunity that comes with mastery is responsibility. Law is not just a job, it is a learned profession, marked by the extensive learning or erudition that you will gain here, and professed to the core values of justice and the rule of law. Our polarizing time has made these words challenging and controversial, and their meaning is, of course, contested. A big part of what you will do here will be to explore the different meanings of these words with your professors and with your peers. You will not always agree. It will not always be easy, but determining what you think those words mean, what lodestars you will use for your own career, and being open to other meanings and to challenges to your own definition are crucial. However contested, we cannot forget that these are our lodestars, that our profession exists to serve justice and the rule of law, and that we are training you to serve them. When you leave here, even before you leave here, you will be entrusted with the knowledge and license to practice law. Not the license part before you leave here, but you're already on your way to being so entrusted, to do public good and fulfill public obligations as well as work for private gain and personal glory. Holding that public trust really does begin now in law school, with pro bono projects, with clinics, externships, and summer jobs. I could not encourage you in more emphatic terms to take a clinic as a 2L or a 3L, where you will get real-world experience and skills, you will meet real people as clients, you will gain empathy and understanding for people who live lives very different from your own. Start thinking of yourselves now as public servants as well as lawyers. There are so many ways to fulfill that public service. There's no single path. There are myriad choices into who, on whose behalf, in what realm, whether as part of your day job or your volunteer work, to wield that power responsibly. But all of those paths flow through your understanding of yourselves as holders of a public trust, as active participants in the law, and thus in the governance and leadership of American society and the larger global community. There is no better place to become such a lawyer than here. No better place for all the obvious reasons: the fabulous faculty, your deeply impressive peers, our amazing staff to guide you through the entire educational and professional process, our incredible curriculum. Do you sense my excitement? I am excited. But it's more than all of those things that we can quantify and count. Our faculty, staff, and students are all engaged in a shared enterprise beyond the formal curriculum, beyond the professionalization process. An enterprise that never loses sight of the importance of humanity, respect, and relationships to our community, to your education, and to the workings of the law itself. This culture of caring about each other is built into all that we do as a law school, and I am sure that it is what brought many of you here. We are fortunate to be able to draw on it now, with the pandemic still with us. Here we are in masks again, but here we are, which is in itself thrilling. Thanks to the vaccination of more than 95% of students and 90% of faculty and staff, thanks to you all, we are teaching and learning and working in person as we keep each other and our community safe. And to see you all here in person once again fills me with incredible optimism and excitement. We will, of course, continue to work with the university leaders to monitor public health conditions and keep relying on our community for mutual support, humanity, and compassion. Much of the strength of our community comes from our unique combination of a commitment to that community and our diversity in every sense of the word. We come from different backgrounds, experiences, views, attitudes, politics, interests, hopes, and dreams. And we are all committed to joy, humanity, respect, dialogue, collaboration, and community across those differences. This combination is a rare gift. We are, because of our combined diversity and pluralism and our community, engaged, not siloed. We reach across our differences to build community and engage in respectful, empathetic dialogue day in and day out. We are a community of belonging, of equals, of tolerance and diversity, of equity and pluralism. We do not take that for granted, and you should not take it for granted either. We are always looking for ways to enhance this free and respectful exchange of ideas. That is particularly true in times like these, when we will no doubt disagree about politics, elections, and the major issues our nation and the world faces, when we continue to have difficult and important conversations about racial justice at the law school and beyond. I know that you all are up to this challenge. The legal profession that you are entering is committed to the whole enterprise of testing ideas through dialogue and persuasion, to analyzing and solve problems, to consider every argument and hear every idea, means hearing arguments against your own and making your arguments with respect so that others can hear them, even when all of this is hard, which it will sometimes be. So talk in class. Go to office hours. And a favorite of our university president and graduate and former faculty member, Jim Ryan, ask questions of those with whom you disagree and listen to the answers. And do it all informed by this robust intellectual and human community of mutual respect, joy, and a love of learning. That is the essence of our value as an institution. It is the fundamental of our profession, and it is the heart of our educational mission. It is what will make your time here truly transformative and what will make you all the best hope for the future of our profession and our nation. It is what will make you all UVA lawyers, the lawyers and citizen leaders this law school was founded to educate. Though the core of that mission, training leaders for our democracy, remains a key part of what we do here, who is a part of that mission has changed radically over time. In the past 3 years, we have celebrated the bicentennial of the law school's founding, our centennial of coeducation, the 70th anniversary of Gregory Swanson's enrollment, which broke the color line at universities in this state and across the South, and the 50th anniversary of the graduation of Elaine Jones, our first Black woman graduate. We strive to live up to the aspirations of those pioneers, to become ever more an institution in which everyone feels a true sense of belonging, and to educate each of you to become lawyers, leaders, and public servants that the nation and the world desperately need right now, which returns us to where we started. There is no better place to become such a lawyer and no better time than now. Being a dean is both a privilege and a responsibility for me. I believe, as you can see, in the power of the law. My kids make fun of me for being so earnest about it. I believe in a legal education that prepares you for every opportunity you can imagine and every responsibility you will encounter. And I believe in you and the UVA lawyers that you will all become. You are here because we have every confidence in you and your ability to rise to the challenges that currently confront all of us, to become lawyers who not only know the law, but shape it. And that all begins now. You are ready, and I cannot wait to see all that you do.